This has got to be the most satisfying episode of King of the Hill ever. I want to preface that by saying that I haven't really binge watched all of King of Hill. In fact, when I thought about this video, when I thought about this episode, I went on Hulu to go watch it and realized, oh snap, there's actually like a whole lot of seasons, like double digits. I think I saw at least 11. So there's a whole lot of seasons of King of the Hill. And for me to say that this is the most satisfying is a far stretch, but I will say it's extremely satisfying because, of course, I hate Nancy. I don't so much hate John Redcorn because Nancy's the married person. I think the responsibility lies on her in order to end this relationship that she has with John Redcorn. Plus, if she says no, nothing happens, saying. But this episode, I feel like Nancy got her comeuppance. The whole episode was pretty much satisfying. I mean, the end wasn't so satisfying, to be honest. But yo, this episode right here was gold. So I'll talk you through it. Anyways, the episode, of course, starts off with Khan Supernuisance phone coming to basically tell the guys that, you know, his Laotian, like, nephew or whatever was coming over. He's like 17. He's going to try to get alcohol from them. And he's basically warning him, don't buy alcohol. He tells this to everyone. Everyone's there, including Dale and Bill. It's going to be important later. Actually, no, Bill wasn't there, but I was hoping that they had told Bill. Bill comes over, he trips on a pothole, hurts his knee, gets back up. He's super clumsy. For a second there, I thought this was going to be that episode where he ends up making more potholes in the road so he can get that lady to twist her ankle so he can take care of her, you know what I'm saying, instead of Boomhauer. But then Boomhauer got the girl. Yeah, that's a different episode. We also get some exposition. Dale telling everyone about some nonsense going on with space, and apparently some aliens are going to come down, and he's going to be prepared. His preparation involves preparing a whole smorgasbord of food that the aliens can enjoy. Different cultural foods. He even talks about tapas, which are Spanish. He tries to get Nancy to cook this for him, but she's busy because she's the primary breadwinner, so she's on the table paying bills, and she just looks absolutely stressed. He has to pay the bills, and he's distracting her with his stupid childish antics. You know, Bobby and Joseph are doing some stupid stuff, of course. Nancy gets a phone call from John Redcorn, and then she starts daydreaming about her and John Redcorn. This is an episode right after apparently they had broken up, so she's like torn, you know what I'm saying? The nostalgia, but also knowing that she broke up with him. But essentially, John Redcorn's been trying to get into contact with her, so she ignores his phone call. She goes to work at the news station, and he's still trying to get into contact with her, which then reminds her boss that she should do like a story on him. Dale's on his front yard, finishing up his preparations, waiting for the aliens to come, when this custom car, souped up car, pulls up, and it's some weirdly dressed Laotian teenager, and of course, it's Khan's cousin. I was going to say cousin, but it's his nephew, and like Dale was there when Khan told him about his nephew being up there, but for some reason he just forgets and assumes that this is the alien because his car looks futuristic, and he comes out looking different, and he's got glasses on at night, which is weird, and he's speaking a different language. Dale assumes that language is alien, and he gets in a car with the Laotian teenager. Dale's dumbass is in wonder, in awe. He sees the clock. He says, oh, it's military time, but why would an alien have military time? So then he assumes that it's just the year, and that's not an alien ship. It's apparently a time machine. So he panics, starts pressing buttons, and he presses the turbo button and gets knocked out. Boom. And here comes my favorite character, Luann.
Oh, I'm so glad that your regular makeup lady got meningitis so I could do your makeup.
I just love Luann. I love how dumb she is. I love the way that she talks, how she sounds. Luann's my favorite. And she's basically doing Nancy's makeup. So she's doing the little roller thing that you get all the lint off your clothes, and she gets a whole lot of hair. She asks, do you have a cat? And of course, Nancy doesn't, but she's not paying too much attention on it. This will be important, remember. Boom, John Redcorn pulls up, and he's laying it on thick. And you'd have to be an idiot not to see the sexual tension that's going on between the two. So much so that Hank tells Bobby to get out of the room while they're watching TV. Yo, Dale wakes up. He thinks he's like been transported to the future. He brings up the ex-vice president or whatever he is, the man-bear pig guy. But, you know, he is stupid. He walks around thinking that he's in the future. I'm actually getting pretty tired of talking about Dale. I think he's an absolute idiot. But look, so Nancy finally gets serious about her hair falling out, so she goes to the doctor, and I can't tell if this doctor is Indian or black. He sounds Indian, but his hair and his looks, they look like a black guy, but he's a doctor, so he's probably not a black guy. He lets her know that she's definitely losing her hair and that within 6 months she's going to be completely bald, so she absolutely panics. But yo, Nancy buys a whole lot of shampoos and stuff. She tries to save her hair, only for John Redcorn to pull up to her house, trying to lay it on even thicker. He's trying to get her back. As you should always do, Nancy decides to a different doctor to get a second opinion, and this guy had a little more information for her. They do a lot of tests, and they say that there's nothing really wrong with her blood work as far as the hair loss, and then he tells her that it's either hereditary or stress induced, which earlier she was pretty stressed about, Dale and the bills. So he prescribes her some anti-anxiety medication. And those anti-anxiety medication make her a quintessential housewife, soccer moms, they're always drugged up, and she likes the pills. She almost starts forming a habit with them. Those housewives, those soccer moms, they also form habits with kind of pills. You know what I'm talking about. Dale's still doing some stupid stuff. Now he believes that he's just a day back in the past, and that he could run into his past self at any moment, which he's trying to avoid at all costs. Nancy finally realizes that maybe this isn't a stress-induced thing, that maybe it's a hereditary thing, a genetic thing that gets passed down to her. So she goes to visit her mother, and her mother is just as insufferable as she is. Nancy lets her know, and her mother tells her that she has been bald this whole time, and that even her husband doesn't know. And this is where we get to another stupid part of this episode. She then tells Nancy that she also took part in an affair. Apparently, she's passing on more than just bad hair genetics. And she says that the moment she broke it off with her affair partner is the moment that she started losing her hair. So Nancy finally understands exactly what her mother is alluding to.
So what you're telling me is if I want my hair back, I have to get back together with John Redcorn.
And of course, this is the funniest part of the whole episode. Feast your eyes on the greatness of Dale Gribble.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed. You should live for now. You should go ahead and do it. If there's something you're thinking about doing, you might as well do it. Do it now!
You heard him, Nancy.
So of course Nancy's yapping with the other moms on the road, and they all, luckily for once, Peggy is reasonable, and she says that sounds kind of stupid. Peggy is against her getting back with John Redcorn. Also, this is also funny. Remember when I said that Bill wasn't there for the conversation about the 17-year-old Laotian nephew? But, this is what I'm talking about. I love Bill. You know what I'm saying? He's such a good guy. But, of course, the 17-year-old Laotian guy tricks Bill into buying him a whole bunch of snacks and the beer, of course, and leaves him with the bill. It's almost $100 that Bill has to fork over. And even after the Laotian teenager drives off, Bill still is unaware. So boom, Nancy is finally assured in what she has to do. So she goes to find John Redcorn, and he's at a gig. Remember, I believe, like I said, I haven't been watching a lot of this, but this should be around the time that John Redcorn is no longer doing some of that death metal stuff. He's done a rebrand. He's doing different kind of music now. It's for the children, which is a smart idea because his other music was bad, except for that one song. How did it go? Yo, I haven't seen this episode in years, but look. There's a hole in my pocket where my money should go. That was a banger. Need more of that. But apparently he's also getting a lot of chach from the moms of these kids. And knowing John Redcorn, I know for a fact he's knocking out all these chicks. It must be pretty nice to be John Redcorn, bruh. Like, to be honest, I would not mind. You know what? I would not mind having all these middle-aged, sexually frustrated groupies. That's a dream of mine. I want to do that one day. Hank tries to set Dale straight, telling him to cut out all this stupid nonsense because you're pushing away Nancy. He doesn't tell him that, but his whole thing, this whole episode, is trying to get Dale to be reasonable because he's pushing away Nancy. He's pushing her right to John Redcorn, but he actually does push. You saw that last clip, right? The funniest clip of the whole episode is literally just do it. But yeah, now, Dale believes that the world is going to end any minute. Hank just wants to get back to his house with the tacos and spend time with his family. Dale is like, why, when the world is about to end, are you going to spend time with your family? He realizes that maybe he should be spending time with his loved ones too. So he goes to find Nancy, and she's with John Redcorn. They're literally about to smash. John Redcorn even says, you want to do this? And she's like, we could just skip everything and just get right to the action. And I know that's got to be music to John Redcorn's ear. But right before they get into the coitus, or, begin with the festivities, Dale pulls up and he tells her how he really feels. And this pushes Nancy finally accept Dale and not be with John Redcorn for now. And she also accepts the balding because now she's shopping for wigs. And so she decides to get back with Dale. I was really hoping to see a kiss at the end or something, but all they do is hold hands. I don't think I've seen Dale and Nancy kiss at all in these episodes, in any episode, to be honest. Maybe that one when they were doing a flashback to the, Dale's wedding. I think it was that episode with the gay dad, but like that actually disturbs me because that's your wife, bro. But yeah, this is a satisfying episode just because I feel like Nancy finally got some karma. You're going to be bald now, bitch. And that's got to be pretty bad. I mean, if balding is bad for men, balding must be something whole different animal for women, huh? It's been your boy. I'm out.